Next up in our look at Fantasy Football 2013 is the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals have a solid number of guys that are worthy of your fantasy consideration. Quarterback is Andy Dalton. Dalton needs to cut down on his interceptions and, of course, increase his touchdown totals to make him really a worthy draft candidate. He does fall into that second tier of good but not great quarterbacks, joining people like Eli Manning and Ben Roethlisberger, who from a fantasy standpoint don't score a whole lot of points for teams. But again, in a one-game bye week type of situation, is a solid quarterback for your team. So as a quarterback too, he has some value to you. At running back, you have Benjarvis Green Ellis, who gained over 1,000 yards in his first year with the Bengals, coming over from the New England Patriots. But no one seems to really think a whole lot of Benjarvis Green Ellis. He's kind of just another back. He didn't average 4 yards a carry. I think he had 5 or 6 touchdowns at most as far as on the ground. And as such, he has limited value in fantasy. He is a third-tier back, well beyond even the David Wilsons of the world. He's one of those guys that you could take not really a flyer on because he is a starter, but you can take a spot on him and get him in round 4 or even 5 in a draft. He is backed up right now by Giovanni Bernard, who a lot of people think is going to take over the role by the end of the year. Bernard is being drafted. He is a guy that typically goes in that 7-8 round area where you're taking some real chances on running back threes and hoping to strike some lightning, and that could be a good strategy to take Bernard somewhere in that range. Wide receivers, on one side you got Mohamed Sanu. Sanu had a solid campaign last year. He caught 4 touchdowns and only had like 16 catches overall, but obviously has to really step up his game. And of course, we have A.J. Green on the other side. Green is right in that, I would almost call it 1A category. He doesn't really fit into the Brandon Marshall, Calvin Johnson range. He fits more into the Larry Fitzgerald, Victor Cruz area. He catches a ton of passes. He joins guys like Julio Jones and Roddy White of the Falcons as great pickups. Definitely a third, no later than 4th round pick. At tight end, they have a couple of interesting guys. Jermaine Gresham is a solid receiver. Doesn't catch a lot of touchdown passes. That's one of his downsides, but he did catch over 60 passes and falls into the usual category of tight ends that you can draft but aren't going to make or break your team. They also picked up Tyler Eifert in the draft. Sometimes you're seeing Eifert go late in the draft as people try and take a flyer on certain players, and he is a respectable one. He does have good hands and should open up the middle of the field for Andy Dalton. Defensively and special teams wise, the Bengals don't have a great defense. It's solid but not spectacular. They don't have a great return game. They're not going to be a type of team that's going to lead the league in any real categories that would make them worthy of your consideration for drafting. As far as the kicker, they've got Mike Nugent. He's a guy who kicks a lot of field goals. I think the Bengals are going to score a decent number of points, but he's going to be given a lot of opportunities to kick field goals. And Mike Nugent is one of those, not one of the top 2 or 3 kickers in the league, but someone who certainly is worthy of your consideration as you get into kickers 7 through 12, somewhere in that range. So again, Dalton as a quarterback 2, Benjarvis Green Ellis somewhere in the 4th round, Giovanni Bernard later in the draft as a flyer at running back. Then you've got Sanu, who may be taken around 12 or 13 at wide receiver. A.J. Green, probably the most valuable Bengal and should be taken no later than late round 3 or round 4. Jermaine Gresham is a decent tight end. Tyler Eifert if you want to take a flyer on a tight end. And Mike Nugent is a worthy draft pick at kicker.